You gotta start the show.
Okay, I have to introduce the whole thing now. This is Grindstone.
I used to buy designer things. Then I became a designer name. Can't control everything. Ordered a hoagie, told him hold everything. I'm here for the bread alone. Stuffed the cone, I hit some smuggled grass, rolled up the glass, kicked back, rolled down Rhode Island Ave. But does the past still exist, I ask? Does the past still exist, I ask of you? Ooh, one question.
Does the past still exist, I ask? Does the past still exist? What a question.
Does the past still exist? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But what we gonna learn is that there's some stuff of the past we gotta let go. We gotta let it go. We gotta let go. I'll give you one thing we gotta let go right now. Mercury being in retrograde is not a thing. Yeah.
Mercury being in retrograde. Earth to Houston. Earth to Houston. Mercury being in retrograde is not a thing.
What you mean? Come on, lay it on me, man.
I will. I'm gonna tell you this. The other day, okay, today, happy 11/11 for all the veterans. Happy Veterans Day. You know, damn, y'all got a lot of things you got to let go too. You know, with the memories of what you did to become a veteran. Damn. Wouldn't want to be you, but I admire the courage that a lot of y'all put forth. So first we're going to allow that to cease and settle. But you got to drop a lot of stuff, right? All veterans of every game know that. You can't just take your old baggage and bring it to the new set. Can't do it. Not enough room on that plane. There's not enough room on the future bus to bring all your past. But back to Mercury being in retrograde and So the other day, it was brought to my attention that communication
Communication is about to be bad because Mercury's in retrograde.
I was like, nah, come on, man. That's not real. But if it is real, please explain it to me. Now, most people who will say Mercury is in retrograde, they can't explain it. They just say it, and we've gotten satisfied over the time with just holding that truth to be self-evident. And it's not even self-evident. You know, it's not like all y'all who talk about Mercury being in retrograde bad for communication, it's not like you the best communicators throughout the year otherwise. And it's not like you got the most functional technological grip on devices and computers to the point where it's really odd that something strange is happening to your ability to communicate during this time you call retrograde. So, for those of you all who ain't hip to Mercury being in retrograde, what it is said to be. Now, fuck what they talking about. Retrograde means something is going against the grade of things. Something's going backwards. Retro. So, I had to ask, well, what's going backwards then?
What's going backwards? Tell me now.
And your average Mercury retrograder can't tell you. They just be like, nah, because the way the earth and the what. Explain it to me like I'm in second grade. Because all truth, once you process them and understand them, they're easy to explain to anybody, right? I could tell a second grader how an exhaust manifold and a carburetor and an engine work with headers and how that will increase your horsepower in a car. Real simple. I could break it down real easy because I understand it. So if anybody's like trying to tell you something and they can't really understand and they're dancing around, it's simply because they haven't processed a true understanding of it yet. And that's okay. But here I am to let you know. Now, I used to teach physical science in middle school. That's one of my truths. And when I was young, I really liked the planets and shit. Like looking at seeing what the planets was doing. That was one of my things. I mean, had a telescope and drew all the planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, all that shit. I mean, being able to like recite them hella fast. Because I was tight when you was young if you could recite the planets hella fast. But I did all that shit. So then I was like, okay, if something is going backwards, what's going backwards? You got the sun in the middle of stuff, right? Mercury's going around it. It's running the quickest lap because it's closest. Then you got Venus. Then you got Earth. Which one's going backwards? What's happening? What's this backwards thing you talking about? Earth is spinning on its axis. Venus is spinning on its axis. Mercury spinning on its axis as they go around. It's like if you could imagine people running track, but everybody starts at the same place, but just closer to the center of the track. The center of the track being the sun in this case, right? What's going backwards then? Where does retrograde happen? Yeah, nothing is going backwards, okay? Somebody said it one day, and they said that it was cool if we could get some grace for being poor communicators, and they said the shit's going backwards. But actually what's happening, somebody on Earth was observing Mercury from Earth. And looking at it, they thought that Mercury was going backwards. So this would be the equivalent of if you're running the race around the track with people, and then you're running at different rates. Sometimes you're going to be ahead of somebody, and sometimes somebody's going to be behind you. Kind of like when you look at a spinning wheel, and if the spokes are spinning one way and they're going forward, it kind of looks like they're spinning backwards. That's an optical illusion from your perspective, from where you are. But the planet itself is not going backwards. It's not spinning backwards. It's just that you all are going at opposite rates. So sometimes it's looking like one person is further ahead than the other. That's all that is, that Mercury retrograde. But Mercury's minding his business and we're minding our business. And then we tried to say some shit's going backwards because we happen to be ahead of them at certain times. And we're like, man, they way back there. They must be going backwards. Imagine the amateur ass research that was done to come up with Mercury retrograde. They're going backwards. Come on, man. That don't even make sense. And if you were to look at the whole solar system and just simulate all the planets in their orbit around the sun, ain't nothing going backwards, man. So Mercury going retrograde, that's not even a thing. You got to let some stuff go. You got to let some stuff go. Another thing you got to let go in the midst, just to let you know how many things you've just accepted already, the days of the week. No. The names of the months of the year. Those. That's what I mean. I didn't mean days of the week. I didn't even do that knowledge. But just for instance, who the fuck named this November? Do you know? July. Think about that. July? Like, where the fuck that come from? I tell you where it come from. It came from Julius Caesar. So it's not even a real thing. We made it a real thing. And meanwhile, Julius Caesar was cutting babies out of women, giving them cesareans. Caesar. Julius Caesar was a fool. And then we just kept with the name that him and his boys named these damn months. And it's not because people love them so, but it's because they had the weaponry. And look how long that lasted. So if you get nothing else from this, I want y'all to understand, in this season, why not in this day? Let it go. Let it go. And welcome to episode 84 of Sorry for My Language. Get busy, baby. Yeah. Welcome to episode 84 of Sorry for My Language. I'm your host, Grindstone, and I'm drinking tea. Now, I'll be honest. I just got hip to tea. I've had tea for the ages. People have given me tea, teaspoons I've used, and I just never was with. It wasn't even like I had something against tea drinking. I was just not a tea drinker. It just wasn't my thing. And not too long ago, I was doing pull-ups in the park with my man, and my man was super resilient. He was getting it. And I was like, man, what you be doing in the morning? He was like, man, I drink my tea, my dandelion tea, and I bam, that's a jewel. Man, send me some of them herbs you be drinking. And for the longest, man, I've been hip on herbs, reading herb books, knowing that the earth is the way, all that. But somewhere along the line, I just put tea to the wayside. So now I'm back on the tea train. I'm teed up. I'm teed up, baby. I'm teed up for episode 84 of Sorry for My Language. So, yeah, so you might catch me sipping tea throughout this episode. And I'll tell you what kind of tea I'm drinking, matter of fact. This is wait, talk to me, T. This is hold on, let me make it ferocious. This tea that I'm drinking.
The tea that I drink, it has cinnamon in it, with a little bit of lemon, a dab of honey, something sweet for the women. Let me tell you, the tea that I drink, it got some hawthorn. I'm raw born in the month of July. Drink tea, it makes you fly. It gives you wings, it gives you pull, but not red bull. Red herbs and spices. What else I got? I think I got a nice yellow bark sarsaparilla, something else mixed in here. Before it's over, I can't forget the go-to cola. I got the tea, I make t-shirts. Together we work. Original man. Tea is the plan. Oh yeah. Woo, that was smoking fire.
Shout out to tea and everything that tea can make you do. So I'm on tea now. That's what I'm on. Now that I'm drinking my cup, I feel like I'm on TV. Tea on TV. What they be drinking? What do you think they drink like on Tonight with Johnny Carson and The View? Like what's in their cups? Well, you know what's in mine. Letting go all those habits that might not be what's up. And before we go any further, I would like to give big old shouts out to our sponsor, Grindstone Universal. Listen, y'all. Listen. Go to grindstoneuniversal.com and get up on some of this fresh, original, really well-made clothing. I know you're cute. I know you're fly. I know you got it together. And we're going to talk about that today. But who you playing with? Go to grindstoneuniversal.com. If I'm lying, I'm flying, and my butt is nailed to the ground or nailed to the chair. I said nailed to the ground. I said my butt. No homosexual. So, speaking of letting things go, today, probably about an hour ago, to be accurate about it, I decided within myself that I forgive one of my old friends. And if you think that you're the old friend that I'm talking about and you don't receive a call from me, you're not the old friend. But I have a friend who I've known for quite a number of years, and a couple of years ago, I just couldn't. It was just too much. Bruh was a problem, and I had to like really just make a peace proclamation within myself, and just say, self, this ain't what we signed up for. This ain't friendship. This is crazy. This person is crazy. And that person needs help more than they need my company because I'm not fit to help them. But I don't know. I just got one of those hints of inspiration that I forgive them. I didn't forget. So this don't mean that we about to fall into similar patterns of nothing. But I decided to let go. I decided to just let go my bag of tools that locked him out whenever I thought about him. And I was thinking of a perfect sound for that moment, but it's real. We carry so much stuff, and then we just don't make room in our emotional house for the new stuff, the new beauties. And it's a lot of stuff that we need to be giving thanks for. First of all, let's give thanks. Let's give thanks for, first of all, if you got heat on in your house. Be thankful for that. If you don't have heat on in your house, be thankful that you got a house. If you don't have a house, be thankful that you live inside in somebody else's crib. You don't live inside, be thankful that you're alive outside, able to soak up all that outside goodness. If you live outside and it's bad weather, be thankful that you weather in the storm. It's just something to be thankful about at every little turn, And I think that we need to acknowledge several things before we go out wanting more, because when we want more, if we're given more, sometimes we'll get so much in excess that we'll get to the point of overdoing whatever we thought our treasure chest needed. And through that, we didn't need a whole lot of that stuff. And you'll end up having a whole lot of people around you who don't fit your life, and a whole lot of habits around you that don't fit your optimal health. And then you'll be coming to this point again, the end of next year, being like, man, I got to clean my closet of everything that I accumulated. I got to let go. I mean, even when it comes to, nothing so much on the dark side, but think about if you wanted to think about all the trendy people, right? Who were able to actually get some stuff that fed into the trend they were loving on. Man, I mean, when I think about that, think about, and these pictures ain't going to go nowhere at this point, neither will the memories, but think about all the dudes who had a faux hawk. Think about all the ladies with tramp stamps. Think about, and dudes with tramp stamps. Think about everybody who got a tongue ring. Think about everybody who was gay for a summer or two and tried to slide back and not be gay. Think about everybody who got a bad tattoo, meaning one representing a time, a place, or a person that you are totally not okay with right now. Think about the several things that you did that you identified yourself with that had you let it go before you decided to let it go, your life would have changed so drastically. And at the time that you was holding on to it, you knew that I don't even need to be doing this, being this, partaking in this at all. Like, for instance, I stopped drinking Hennessy. I don't know what year it was. I don't know what moment it was. But the thing that edged me into stop drinking cognac is that a lot of the bars that I would go to when it got real hip and trendy to go to bars, they didn't have cognac. And I realized, dang, they just be like serving up cognac to black people. You know, at least in America. Maybe in cognac France is very different. But I'm diversifying my activities, and I'm here, there, everywhere. And I'm like, damn, it's not cognac in a lot of these places. So then I started drinking whiskey. But then when I started drinking whiskey, it was very different. The experience was very different than drinking cognac, but it was hard to go back to cognac. And I was pretty much like RIP on the Hennessy. Fuck it. And I used to be double shot of Hennessy everywhere I showed up. VSOP, if I'm at lunch really doing my thing, XO. And I was lightweight identified by my Hennessy drinking. Straight up. And when I say that, I mean identified, not my gender or nothing, but I mean identified in the nightlife as the person with the Hennessy, because everywhere I would show up, the bartender would damn near greet me with that shit. That's back when going out and bouncing around in the city was a thing. Now the city is poverty stricken and fear has set in, and it's like a damn dragon is flapping his wings over the city. So the spots ain't the spots no more. You know what I'm saying? But back when that was the deal, I swear I drank as much Hennessy in a certain period of years that anybody else did. So I don't care if you was rich, poor, an ambassador, down and out on your luck, whatever your demographic was, I drank as much Hennessy as you. And that shit was not healthy at all. So let's get to that part, right? I had to let it go. Another thing that at this time of year, I think it'll be great to let go. A lot of you Shein, Fashion Nova, merch wearing people, when people say they got a clothing line, but they got merch and y'all just be copping every little drop and it's trash. Y'all need to donate some of that. It's time to let go of some of that too, because there's people out here, like I said, like the ones who I was hollering about, who's outside and they're cold, they need some coverage. Let go of some of your stuff. Go in your closet by Friday and pick 15 things that you're willing to part with and give them away. Give them away. It's all part of letting go, And but what I've gathered you all here to talk about today, in all seriousness, is when is it that people decide to let themselves go?
Go Palestine, I'm off psilocybin. It's the real assignment, feeling vilified. The new DC weed law, I don't like it. You can keep the license, they gon' tweak the prices. Devil's in the detail.
And I'm not talking about in the good way. I'm talking about when is it that you know, and you might be a person who's let themselves go, but I'm talking about appearance-wise, physically, even the way you might care for yourself in certain ways outside of your body, like your surroundings. When is it that people let themselves go? Take a look at your nearest mirror. Take a look at your nearest mirror. Now raise your shirt up to just below your chest, just below the nips. Raise your shirt up while you're looking in the mirror. Then go close to the mirror and do like this. Show your teeth. Show your teeth to the mirror. Then look at yourself in the eye and ask yourself, have you let yourself go? Then step back, adjust your clothing, and look at yourself. Look at yourself. Try to imagine you don't know who you are. A lot of y'all don't know who you are. But just look at that person and work on that person. Sculpt that person. Decorate that person. You know, it's sad that a lot of people, you know, a lot of men, I know women be going through their shit, but like a lot of men, they do some self-evaluation physically, and then they try to speed up the process of like getting well and getting healthy and being young or whatever the hell they're trying to do. And then they end up, you know, taking some testosterone pills, or they end up taking certain supplements and their heart starts beating fast. And then men start having like real health events, bad shit, hospital rushes, because they don't want to take care of themselves the right way. They notice that, oh shit, I look a fucking mess. I look like a pile of dirty laundry. And then one day they decide to make it all better, and they do all the fake shit to get to the top of the mountain. We're not asking you to do none of that, right? Take your time. Let today be consistent with your last great day of self-check, care, work. Floss your back teeth today. Start with that. Just start with flossing your back teeth. You can floss your front teeth tomorrow. But the back teeth is where them chews be trapping stuff in the back of your mouth and poisoning all up in here. Next thing you know, your breath stink. Then you got a side tooth missing. Then you get sick because you got a hole in here where poison just enters with no bodyguard. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, we just have to really start looking at ourselves like people who we're trying to sculpt into the best version. We want this vehicle to be the best. But when do people start letting themselves go? Like, I will definitely say, since 2020, I'm going to say we had a new poor self-presentation publicly starting in like 2024. Like the pandemic got people stepping out trying to like pop their shit, look good, you know, after they lost that 15 pounds or whatever, you know. Pandemic, what people got fat during the pandemic, but then they stepped out, they got the clothes that fit, and they stepped out, you know, trying to be somebody. But then I think 2024, people got tired of like trying to be their best version of themselves, and they started looking like shit again. And so for me, and my curiosity, as I go to homecomings, as I bump into people I know, as I look through TikTok and IGs and all that, and I'm seeing people who I know, and then even as I pop up in different spots, I'm just like, hold up. Hold on. Why you look like trash? What part of the game is that going to get you to? Why are you doing that? And what triggered it? So that's my basic question. Do y'all have any answers? Like, does your not giving a fuck about how you look, like for instance, in my own home, I be having my shit together. Through the whole pandemic, I kept it fresh Hold up, just so you can see what's popping. I kept me a fresh haircut during the pandemic. Keeps me some money. They didn't want to stop cheering. But you gotta stay looking like the event, the prize. You gotta stay moisturized. You gotta stay smelling good. Your carpet gotta stay vacuumed. Your floor gotta stay swept and mopped. You don't have that. You can't have a dirty toilet in your house, a fucked up sink. What's all that spittle on your mirror in the bathroom for? Clean that for yourself. At what point do you start letting yourself go? At what point do you start allowing the people who you're around to let themselves go? And just not cared for. Car hella dirty. Shoes looking like some shit. The things that you could control. You could clean off your fucking shoes. You could wash your car. You could cut the grass in front of your house and get somebody to cut it. You could do like little side bends and kind of work on that body a little bit. You could do 100 squats a day. Break it up into sets of 20. You could do things. Drink that water. You could do stuff. And so I'll be out here, man, and I'm unhappy with a lot of the things that I see when it comes to how people present. And it's not just on the surface, but primarily we're talking about the surface today. For instance, ladies, here's some game. I gives not a fuck what you going through. Keep your nails done. Keep them bitches done. They don't have to be nail shop done, but that just means that you got to care for them. But keep your shit cared for. Your fingernails are like your other set of teeth. They tell your story. They speak about you when you're not speaking. So why not get those easy points and put in a good word for yourself, I just think that presentation, and not the fake shit, but I mean when like somebody presents in a way that they've curated, they've sculpted themselves, it tells the story that they're going to spend the next however long trying to tell you. But they're going to put the remix on it, they're going to put the bullshit on it, but then you could kind of be like, yeah, but I see how you take care of yourself, and you don't really take care of yourself. You let yourself go. Not just with the shit you got on over you, but like, I could look at you and tell that you don't be giving yourself the best shake day to day. That's going to attract what it's going to attract. And I'm not just talking about in human form. You're going to get the gifts and the spoils and the repercussions of not giving a fuck. You're going to get the random sowings of life, and you will reap that. So why not be intentional with things that involve yourself? I promise you'll feel better. You look at something and be like, oh, okay, that's together. I got that. I got that part. So yeah, I don't understand it. When I look at the older generation, like the people who are now like 80, they are so jazzy in the way they keep their shit together. I really, really like how they pay attention to their details. And then if they're 80 and still looking sweet, think about how fly that shit was when they were like 30, when they were 40, when they were in their 20s with probably not the means to get it right, but with the ambition. Imagine how they might have like had their little shit jazzed up. We up here thinking we got it, we got this, we're the smartest people in the world. Y'all still worried, y'all still thinking about some damn retrograde. Not the best look. So is some of that holding on to whatever cool you thought you had? You gotta let that go. You gotta let that go. Because looking like a bag of trash and smelling like a bag of onions is not cool. Your you isn't fly enough to supersede that. Okay? Get your shit together. Pay attention to yourself. Gift yourself with self-care. And that doesn't always mean a spa day. Sometimes that means cleaning your freaking bathroom. Sometimes that means flossing your bottom teeth. Sometimes that means making sure your car's washed, your hair's cut, you got enough rest. You show up looking like you was worthy of the in-person view you got. We got to do better. We got to do better. Shoot, I'm gonna do better. If you're gonna do better, say, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. I don't care. I'm gonna do better. But yeah, you might be the most talented person in the world. You might have had some great moments as a high school athlete, college athlete, pro, manager, consultant, mother, father of 3. You might have done great shit. You might be a knockout artist, a graffiti artist. You might be all types of different shit. But on this very day, why your body not together? Why haven't you cared for your body on a daily basis? Come on. Why your outfit looking crumbled up? Whatever you did in those days to get you what you got, that you put on the plaques of your wall in your mind that you point out and brag about, whatever got you there, if you present like you present today and you in those categories of looking like windblown rubbish, you're not on the same track to create different great moments. And I'm just saying, get on the track. Just get on the track. Believe in yourself. I might have talked it tough, like I'm talking bad about you. And some of you I am, but not really maliciously. I'm just saying, let's hold each other accountable for our look. Like, man, if you got some facial hair, not unless it's against your religion, man, shape that shit up. Trim that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Groom yourself, fool. Shit, a lot of y'all got like families of micromites growing in your facial hair, and you know it, and you could do something about it because running water and soap is near, and you know it, and then even some scissors to like get your trim up, you know? Come on, save your little money, go get seen by somebody, go get cared for. So this isn't in the vein of vanity, but it's bigger than that. It's kind of like pruning a tree. You know, you prune it back to get more healthy, concentrated growth. And I'm just saying in all forms of life, you got to let some things go in order to let some things come back beautiful. So maybe not to me, or maybe even in the comments, you could tell me about when it is you let yourself go, or when it was, and why. Like, why did you let yourself go? And are you going to get back on track? I don't care if your ass lives in the woods. Okay? Now, there you might be lacking some electricity. You might be lacking some mirrors. But that is no reason for your ass not to be in shape and in good health if you live in the woods. So we have all these city amenities, suburban and urban conveniences. And some of y'all just haven't done none of the things. I encourage you to get your big ass back on track. And man, like I said, I got to drink my tea. I'll be drinking my tea too, by the way. As I watch my self-improvement take place and as I watch your self-improvement take place. Because if we just allow everybody to slide off the plate, one day we're going to look around and regret that we're friends with the people who let us turn into trash bags. You know? And back to this tea. I don't know if you call it what I am, under the weather, or if I got a tickle in my throat. I don't know what it is. But if I'm, first of all, I don't know where under the weather came from. You know, that's another thing we got to let go. Just come with different, we got to reform the way that we talk about, that we just throw shit out there and say it. Because some clown probably said I'm under the weather, and then they told some, it always starts with an impressionable person getting told something and then telling everybody. So somebody said I'm under the weather, and they said that in the presence of an impressionable person who ran off and told hella people. So it's crazy though, because it kind of started like my nose, the sniffles. That thing moved back, the little tickle in my throat. And that thing moved to my chest here. And I'll be hacking like, damn, see? Yups. Even as I tried to mimic what I sound like sometimes, that shit really kicked off. So I'm gonna continue to drink my tea. And shout out to you for following me. I would love for you to like, subscribe, stay on point for more. Follow Grindstone on all your Apple Musics and all of that. Go to grindstoneuniversal.com and make a purchase and make a new friend. And, you know, from me to you, as always, shout out to Outkast for being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Take care of that tickle in your throat. For episode 84. I'm sorry for my language. I'm signing off.